I think the problem we have is that of enforcement and implementation, not creating new laws, not even strengthening or increasing penalties. It's become very, very clear that even with the penalties we have on the statute books today, we're talking about statutory rape to begin with. The punishment for statutory rape is very, very harsh, it's very, very stringent. I don't think ordinarily that ought to deter anybody who commits crimes of this nature, but they've not been deterred.
This is one of the satanic manifestations of humanity that have even spread. It is condemnable in the Christendom. It is condemnable in Islam, condemnable even the voodoos, Judaism, and even Hinduism. Is an evil that if we do not propose stiffer punishments, people will continue to exhibit it and get away with it.
When we talk about children, these are the most vulnerable group. Do they even understand what they mean by sex? They said even if someone is even taken to a law court, they said victim, okay, be put into a stand to defend yourself. Do they really understand what actually happened? I don't think so. So whoever must have been engaged in acts like this, like Senator Sekibo said, is very, very criminal. And I think it warrants a death sentence at this point in time.
Well, that's what the resolution they're coming from the Senate yesterday. What do you make of this issue of zero tolerance for rapists?
It should be for all crime. No crime should be seen as.
But it's quite worrisome at this time.
Crime. That is
when you haven't having child molestation.
Yeah, it's rampant.
Children of 10, 15, even 4-month-old babies are being molested by an adult of 50, 60, 70-year-old.
Yeah, well, I agree. Where I'm going is, as I said, not only rape, there should be zero tolerance for all crime, rape inclusive. We should not allow any crime to stay. We should deal with crime decisively, no matter how little that crime is. Because if you allow little crime to prevail or to stay, that is what would give room for a bigger crime. So there should be zero tolerance to all crime in the country, and that should be the basis of what we should be doing. Rape is now the rampart in the society. We hear people raping underage, 5 years, as low as 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. We hear people. I don't understand it. You know, people should. But I want to agree with our deputy senate president that it's not only about the law. It's only about enforcement and implementation. And that has been our major problem in this country. We have so many laws. As far as I'm concerned, I said, and I'll continue to say it, we have enough law to take care of our responsibility in this country and to ensure our growth in this country. The major problem we have is enforcement and implementation. We hardly implement our laws. We hardly enforce our law. I am aware that there are some people who have been on death row for so many years now. They are still there waiting. Whenever a law is made and there's need for people to enforce it or to punishment to be meted out, the people will freeze it out. Nothing will happen again. So as long as we don't punish crime, as long as we don't do the needful at the right time, no matter how tolerance we have for it may not deter anybody. And because deterrence, yes, punishment is to deter people from doing it. They have seen that in Nigeria, maybe because people have seen that the government are not doing enough to enforce it, they are not deterred. Because I am aware that murder and some other cases, we have murder is also rampant, where people killing another or armed robbery. Armed robbery is still on. Armed robbery, where armed robbery is committed and there's a death involved in that armed robbery, the punishment is murder. Is like a death sentence. Then we see people doing that. So what I'm saying that in as much as we need zero tolerance, what's it called? to that. We need zero tolerance to all crime. We still need our government to ensure enforcement and implementation of that non-tolerance.
What has
crime.
been the relevant laws that is attached to someone being raped?
No, we know in Nigeria we
Because
have.
the Senate there is suggesting or proposing death sentence.
Yeah, we know the one we have before, the punishment for rape before, the maximum punishment you can get, depending on where you are, is 14 years. That is the maximum. And that when you say maximum, that means you can be given lower sentence in that regard. It's not. It didn't say you must be given maximum sentence. You know, the maximum, if you are convicted, is 14 years. I know. I think under the criminal code is 14. Under the penal code, that's my understanding of the punishment of rape for now. So it is not life imprisonment and it's not murder. So they want it to be murder, so that people will be deterred. That if you know you'll be killed. I'm saying even if you make it murder, and there's no implementation and enforcement of it, it may not deter people.
It will definitely start from somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. Let's enforce the one we even have now. Me, I don't even prefer people being killed for offense. Let them be in prison. You know, when you are in custody, you can't do any other thing, and you are still alive. But you are facing serious crisis.
You bear with me that when they are in the prison, that is what we call the prerogative of mercy,
That is
where
that
the
is
governor
that is what we're talking about.
unanimously say, let's release this person.
That's what we're talking about. That's the enforcement and implementation. Sentiment and pity. As long as we allow pity and sentiment to rule, we may not get anywhere. If somebody commits an offense and has been found guilty by the court of competent jurisdiction, he should be allowed to serve his sentence.
But when
except people, I also know, I'm not aware that people who have been convicted genuinely in court are being given a prerogative of mercy. I think only those that are always given are those who are standing trial, and the trial has not been concluded for long. Maybe somebody has been in custody for 10, 15 years and nothing has happened regarding his trial. Those are the kind of people. I'm not sure anybody that has been sentenced to prison or whatever, except some of the 1, 2, or 3 political, what's it called, big men in our society that has happened to. I know somebody who was convicted of corruption and was pardoned. I think he's late now. The former governor of Bayelsa State.
Okay.
He was pardoned. I know some other people have also been. I know about 2 other people also that have been pardoned. I hardly see any masses that is not within the political class that has been given a pardon or a regular mercy that has been after conviction, not before conviction.
Okay.
You know, there are 2 different things. If you are still standing trial, you have not been convicted, and the offense most probably is not something that is serious, and you have been in custody for so many years. Because I know some people are in custody for 10, 15 years for just an issue of wandering. They just pick them up somewhere, carry them, or for issue of I don't want to use the word he stole phone at what's it called, Oshodi or somewhere. Stealing, stealing is also although it's about 3 years imprisonment as well. Stealing, because there's difference between stealing and armed robbery. If you are charged for stealing, maximum sentence is, I think, it's 3 years or so. But if you are charged for armed robbery, it may go as high as life imprisonment or death, depending on what happened in the course of the operation. Do you get it? So most people who are standing trial for petty offenses, maybe environmental offenses and something that has been,
the ones that's prerogative of mercy.
Some of them are those that have been that I am aware of. I'm not saying I'm not aware of other people who have been convicted for murder or for serious offenses that have been granted a prerogative.
Can a man proved to be raped?
From the law that I've read, the law does not recognize a woman raping a man, because in the language of the law they use she or woman. In some instance they even mentioned it. So there's no consent of the woman. There's no, she is under the age of, that's enough to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's not referring to man. So the rape under our law has to do with a man having unlawful carnal knowledge with a woman, or having unlawful carnal knowledge with a lady of under 16 years of age, or having a carnal knowledge of a woman without our consent. So I didn't see where the issue of men came into play under our law. But I know too, a woman should also be women also rape. I'm not talking about law now.
Okay, you're not talking law now.
I'm not talking about law now. But I also know that there's instances where women will also force men to do it.
But under the law,
that should also be rape.
But under the law, a man cannot prove rape.
And the offense that is not anything that is not an offense under our law is not an offense.